The following portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by AFI, your financial North Star.
You can't turn on the TV or check out the internet without seeing ads for online trading apps. But what do you need to know about online trading before you download an app or, even more importantly, invest your hard-earned money? For today's edition of Making Money Manageable, Peter Raber with AFI Advisors is here with some important information I think we all need to know. Good morning. How are you doing? When we see these ads all the time, what are some things you just definitely need to keep in mind about your online trading platforms?
So these have become more and more popular. I think they became exceptionally popular during the pandemic. People are at home, people are trying to replace income, and all of a sudden it's in our feeds. Similar to when we went through when there was a gold place popping up on every corner in 2008. These things come in waves of popularity, and they really are just a way to access the stock market. And so you can buy and sell stocks, buy and sell cryptocurrencies. But the barrier to entry is so much lower through these. You know, you go on your phone, you download it, and
you're there.
You're there. You link your bank account, and you're going.
Scary. It can be scary when you're talking about giving out your banking information. And I know that there's security in place, but what are, other than that, what are some of the biggest risks that investors need to know about?
I think the biggest risk is confusing what you're doing on the app. So yes, you're drawing this money into your bank account, or from your bank account into your investment account. But we saw a lot of people, especially during the meme stops, the GameStops, AMC theaters, both make a lot of money and lose a lot of money. And I think it's really important to know, are we using these apps as an investing tool or as a speculation tool? And speculation in and of itself isn't bad, but there are rules that you may not be aware of, whether it's the pattern day trading rule where you can get locked out of being able to buy if you've done too many trades, or especially important, margin calls, because most of these accounts default you into having the ability to take a loan on your account. That's what enables you to trade for free and to trade immediately over and over, and you can get burned really quickly, and they don't necessarily make that the clearest that you're actually trading with debt.
Right. And can folks, it seems like you might be able to get in over your head really quickly. If you find yourself in that position, what should you do?
I think, my dad used to always tell me, just like so many people, when you get in trouble, quit digging. If you're already down the hole, and so many people try to make that next trade to get out. I tell people all the time, the stock doesn't know you own it. It owes you nothing, And so if you've borrowed to place this trade and now you're 50% down, sometimes the best thing to do is to close out your positions, take a breath, reevaluate, come talk to someone like us, reevaluate what you're trying to do. Because if we're really just trying to speculate to make a quick buck, it really isn't that different than going, and gambling at a casino. So, and I think there's a feeling of, well, I'm doing it within the stock market. That's not gambling. It is if you're not intending to hold it for a long period of time or hold it for a particular reason after doing research. And so it's important to stop, reevaluate, and say, well, why did I buy that? Did I buy it because my friend told me it was going to go up and I didn't want to miss out? Or did I buy it because I've looked at the stock, I feel like I understand what the business is, and it has a growth pattern for the future, which that's investing. And there's a place for speculating, but I tell everyone who speculates, you have to be willing for that money to go to zero.
And I think that's I want to ask this question, and I want to ask it the right way. You mentioned something just a moment ago. Are most of these apps very forthcoming about what is involved in online trading with the customer?
You have to look for it. It's there. And these apps, if you're able to put the time and the effort in, it's in their disclosures, it's in their menus. It isn't up front. A lot of times the offer to lend money or the offer to do trades quickly or the offer of, hey, we'll give you $1,000 if you open the account so you can go ahead and start trading, or we'll give you 1 share of stock. That's more what's pushed, and then that addictive nature of wanting to trade kind of gets in. The education pieces are there, but you need to look for them.
I know that, stock trading has been romanticized in movies and things of that nature. I think some people do get in over their heads, and it's a great analogy that you say about gambling. It almost has that same kind of thrill to it.
It does, and if you're going to put the time and effort into researching and knowing what you're going to do, that's a completely different thing than what we're talking about. But if you're doing it because, you know, I don't want to miss out.
Yes.
If I get an extra $100 on this stock trade, if it just happens, it's not that different than going to the track and saying, I want an extra $100 for that horse race, or I want to pull the slot machine. Because if you look at it, on average, the stock market, any given day, it's a coin flip if it's up or down. I think Bank of America just said it's 46% of the time it's down on a one-day period. You really do have to hold these things longer and longer to get those more predictable results.
And I think you hit the nail on the head right there. Sometimes you got to be in for the long haul. You're not going to get that immediate gratification. You're not going to get that immediate profit. You got to be in, and you got to do your homework. As with all things in life, it doesn't come easy.
It doesn't. And so doing that homework up front saves you so much headache on the back end. But that's where people like we come in and we try to help people coach. And there's fun to be had there, and there's money to be made there, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's an investment. I think that mindset of declaring what it is, and not tricking ourselves to saying, well, I'm investing because I'm buying X or Y, and that's normally called an investment. And then being aware of what, you know, protections you do have. You know, I think a big one that people aren't aware of is cryptocurrencies are not protected by SIPC insurance. And so things like that people aren't aware of can get them in trouble real quick.
And they can find out great information just by contacting you all.
Just give us a call. We do this for a lot of people. Just if you need a second set of eyes even on something, we do that for people all the time just to make sure they're headed in the right direction.
All right, in the right direction. Folks, AFI Advisors, they're there to help you find that right direction, and they would love to hear from you. They're located right there on Fort Henry Drive in Kingsport. Give them a call, that number right there. Better yet, check out their website right there, afiadvisors.com.
The preceding portion of Daytime Tri-Cities is sponsored by AFI, your financial North Star.
Are you looking